Hello and welcome to this week's episode of It's a Sure Thing, the conscious community collective of sharing with others, uplifting each other, teaching each other, learning from each other, and basically being in a tribe, the Enlightened tribe of beautiful people that are making a difference in their lives and in the lives around them. And just by being your authentic self, you actually do that by just being. So on this week's show, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Please invite your friends and family along and let them know that we're here so that we can keep expanding the Enlightened tribe. Hi, Myra Thompson. Thank you for joining us. So this evening's show, we have an incredible woman who I've known for a number of years. And she has been able to push through so many extreme traumatic experiences. She has been married 3 times now and divorced 3 times. Her first marriage was at the age of 22. I'll let her talk about that shortly. But this woman has got resilience in bucket loads. She's got a heart of gold. She's absolutely incredible, and she keeps reinventing more and more and more and more of her as she continues to grow through her experiences. So she has recently started a new business that is actually putting the positive into her experience of being divorced 3 times. And she's a divorce coach. How fantastic is that? So without further ado, I'd love to introduce the incredible, dynamic Elle Crawford from Elle Crawford Coaching. Hi, Elle, how are you?
Hi, Sue. Thank you so much for having me.
So I know you've done so many amazing different things, but let's start at the very beginning, because your first experience of marriage was at a very young age. So can you share with us the learning in that experience for you when it didn't work out?
Sure, I can. I just wanted to also say that I've actually experienced 4 divorces because when I was 17, my parents divorced, and it sent me on a completely different trajectory. Like, I'm the youngest of 7. I never thought it was going to happen. I was really close to my dad. And so that heartbreak really sent me into an unplanned marriage. And I was trying to heal my heart from the outside. And we all know that that doesn't work. And so I was married at 20 and then had babies straight away. And my second child, Chloe, was born when I was 23. And when she was 18 months, she was diagnosed with cancer. And so it was a really massive sort of learning experience and caring experience, and just a really huge lesson of courage and resilience watching my daughter go through cancer treatment. Unbelievable. She was so, so brave. And then I already knew that because I'd tried to heal my heart from the outside, that I was actually feeling really unhappy, and I was just broken inside. And so at 28, after Chloe had had a liver transplant and I'd had another son, I decided to leave that marriage with 3 young kids.
Wow, that's huge, absolutely huge. And I like the fact that you recognize that the other divorce was your parents' divorce, and it's something that at that age we don't really acknowledge, do we, until we get to our age now, and we kind of go, wow, that actually had such a significant impact. So yeah, kudos to you for looking at that and acknowledging it, and healing those parts of you. So and as a divorce coach, so let's come forward to where you are now. And in between, you've actually had other businesses. You started the boxing room at Brighton Road, Brighton. You started that from scratch, now a hugely successful business. And you also recently you moved to Hindmarsh Island to be with your latest partner. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yes. So yes, my former husband and I bought a holiday house on Hindmarsh Island, and then we moved there. And I really felt like I needed to move somewhere with some space and water and serenity. And it really was my spiritual coming home, because after the boxing room, that was a real grind for about 11 years. And I put my heart and soul into it. And unfortunately, it just didn't expand the way that I really wanted it to expand. Gyms became really competitive, and that's when the F45 gyms came in, and we were really knocked around by that. So we moved to High Marsh Island, but just a year and a bit ago, I started doing some extra work on myself, and I trained as an NLP practitioner. I'd already been really struggling with my own happiness during that year. And when I did NLP, I realized that I really needed to honor my heart. Like, I'd been doing that, but not in a real way. And so I really tried to do that so that I would be a much better wife, and I could step up and be really just a better partner. But unfortunately, it just got to a point where nothing was going in the direction that I really wanted it to go. And so after getting my master practitioner in NLP, I decided to leave that marriage earlier this year. I was already coaching women, and then when I separated from my husband, I decided that because it was my third time, and that I was approaching this time with such a different energy, like an energy of surrender and love and forgiveness for myself and also for my husband, and total respect. Like, I really tried to respect who he was, where he was in his life, and my intention is 100% to live at cause, which means that anything that happens outside of me, I have a choice of how I respond to that. And so I take full responsibility for myself and my actions and my emotions. So I thought when I started doing that, it was working really well for me, internally, for my happiness and my peace and my calm. So it wasn't the stressful, overwhelming time. And there were moments, but mostly it's been pretty calm and peaceful. And so I thought, well, if I can do it this way, I can show other women how to do it. And I also have my other experiences to lean on to help them go through times when they're having a bit more drama in their life.
Fantastic. Yeah, the NLP tools are incredible, aren't they? Adair's actually just put a question in the comments. Thank you, Adair. How did you go financially with each divorce? Her own personal experience was that she got more behind each time. And yeah, I've been divorced twice as well. So yeah, kind of part of the club. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, how did you go financially?
Well, after the first divorce, when I was 28, I was really very broke. I worked part-time. I relied on, government support. And I also had some child support coming in. But then the child support dropped dramatically, and I was really on my own. I was lucky in as much that the settlement was fine for that divorce, because we really didn't have much. We were only young, so we didn't really have much. After my second, in my second marriage, my dad had died, so he'd left me a small inheritance, so I had a bit more behind me. And then when that marriage went bust, my second husband and I are still really best friends, and he just decided that he would do nothing to actually hurt me financially. So he pretty much walked away with very little, which, total respect to him, because it was all mine when I brought it in to the marriage. Yeah. And then this one we're still negotiating. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yes, it can be a bit of a tricky path to walk, that one.
It can be.
Yes, yeah. But you do, with your coaching, is it more of the emotional side of things that you help with? And what actually happens? Can you give a bit of an example of what happens if somebody rings you up and says, I'm just going through a divorce, I'm an absolute mess, can you help?
Sure. Well, on top of my NLP qualifications, I also have a qualification in advanced clinical and conversational hypnosis, which I find is like the glue that holds everything together. And I'm also very empathetic, and I have a lot of experience. I'm very good at talk therapy, and I've studied psychology. And so I've got a lot of tools in my tool belt. So I coach women, and I coach women who are either at the point in their marriage where they know that they need to leave, but they don't know how, or the woman their partner has made the decision and they've been left, not like feeling heartbroken or feeling angry or whatever the emotions are. And so then I coach them through being really mindful that emotions are just emotions, and we can actually deal with them. We can express them, and that we can release them, because if we don't, our body holds on to them, and it continues to hold on to them. And that's where, you know, it's dis-ease, you know, not being at ease is when you've got emotions building up. So it's really important that we express our emotions. So it's one-on-one coaching. I have a couple of different packages to help them all the way through, depending on how long they need me for. And we'll do like 90-minute to 2-hour sessions every week or fortnight, however they need at the time. I have sort of like a bespoke package where it actually has an hour, like a total hours, and then they can use them as they need. Which I think is a really good way, because it just gives them more at the beginning when they might need it more, and then less towards the end of our time together, just when they're sort of, you know, doing cleanup and then maybe projecting forward. And one of the big intentions of my coaching is to help them create the life they really want. I'm a huge believer, follower, leader, learner, practicer of conscious creation, that we are conscious creators, and what we put out is what we get back. So it's really important to me to actually help them understand that. And if they need help financially, then I'll bring in someone who can help them with that, but more on the woo side, like not a stiff, you know, financial advisor, someone who can help them with manifestation and abundance. And, you know, I can help them to a certain extent, but that's not where my qualifications are.
Yeah, but you certainly walk the talk with everything that you are and everything that you do, and you're so authentic and so beautiful. And I know that about you, because I have known you for a while. And I guess, you know, if all else fails, you've got the punching gloves.
I still have my boxing gloves. Yes, I still do. I don't mind a bit of a bag box for sure.
Oh dear. So Adez made another comment here saying that she loves the idea of being friends with your ex. Her new partner Nige and they took her ex-husband out for his 60th birthday when she was in Adelaide recently. And, you know, I guess that's one of the things is about detaching from the emotions. So especially when children are involved. You know, my first husband and I we're best friends, but my second husband and I, it's a little bit different because we've got our son together. So it kind of changes the dynamics, because you've got this beautiful innocent person in the middle of it, and you know, both parents might kind of throw in their emotions and emotional baggage and everything else. So it can be a quagmire sometimes to actually get through all of that and just rise above.
It can be, and not be triggered by that, and understand that people are not their behaviors. They just behave in a way. And also, I'm such a great believer that we're all from one source. So I am you, and you are me. And I say that about my husband. You know, I'm him and he's me. So when he does something that could potentially trigger me, I just understand and come from empathy and understand where his level of awareness is, because we all are completely unique, and we all have different experiences and conditioning and, you know, education and knowledge. And so there's no way that two people are going to see the same thing the same, even if it's in a peaceful, joyful situation. So let alone when you put in some, you know, drama and stress, they're definitely not going to see eye to eye. And that's okay.
Yeah. So creating your best life, knowing that you deserve it.
Yes.
What are the three key takeaways that you can give tonight for people that to really focus on to create their best life?
Well,
you probably have 100.
I do. So as the observer of your life, you're also the creator, because every event and experience is neutral until you put meaning on it. So when you make it mean something, then that's when the emotion comes in. So that is great, because what that means is then you can put any meaning you like on it. So you can make it still be neutral. You can make it be joyful or happy or a learning experience, whatever you want to continue to create the life that you want. it's a really big concept, and it's not something that we can cover in 5 minutes for sure. But I think if people start to grasp that that whole observer concept, that as you observe your life, you're creating at the same time. So that's number one. Two is that you are worth it. Every baby is born with completely pure, confidence, and they've got posture and sass and all of that stuff, and it just gets conditioned out of us after about 5, pretty much when we go to school. Especially if we've got good models of parents at home, then it's generally school that really remodels us out of that, and makes our insecurities come in, and with our bodies changing and all of the things that come with puberty and just growing up and all of our experiences. So I think we need to return to the fact that when we were born, we had completely 100% self-worth, self-confidence, and that's who we are in essence as people. So everyone deserves anything that they want in their life, and if you can think of something or ideate about something, it means that it's actually possible. I think that's really important as well.
Beautiful. And yeah, like you say, it's our birthright. It's our birthright to be joyful.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we could have an hour, 10-hour conversation.
Absolutely.
So we've got a couple of people that are Facebook users, but Adair, you might need to just put a comment or link on the comment section to be able to show people's names. So unless you actually give permission in the comments section, we actually don't know who is saying what. So somebody has put a message on there that they've got a good friendship with their ex, and they look after our children's 2 sisters, and forgiveness is a powerful, healthy tool. Sure. Yes, thank you, whoever that was. Thank you for that comment. Yeah, forgiveness. Have you got any pearls of wisdom on forgiveness?
Absolutely. Well, I love the prayer, the Hawaiian prayer, Hopo Honono. Yes, I think I got it right. Hoponono. They're all long O's. I know, I've practiced it, and I still quite haven't got my tongue around it. So apologies to the Hawaiian people in the audience.
Hoponopono, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, and that is beautiful, and that is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I use that a lot to myself and outwardly as well. And I think coming back to the fact that we are all one. So if you don't forgive someone outside of you, then you're actually not forgiving yourself. So I think it comes a lot from forgiving yourself and therefore forgiving others. And it's sort of like a natural flow.
Beautiful. Have you heard the Shanti Mission song that they sing, that Hoponopono, and that they I can't remember the actual title of it, but they sing that, and every time I listen to it I cry. It's just beautiful.
I'd love to hear that. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to send the link or put it in the comments.
It's a beautiful poem.
Thank you. Yeah. Beck Norton, welcome, Beck. Thank you for that.
Hi, Beck.
So let's talk about the Divorce Divas Club. So This is one of your wonderful initiatives.
Yes, well, I think that even in today's progressive society, divorce has still got some shame around it, and it may be self-created by an individual woman or a group of women, but I still think that there is shame there. And so my intention is to really build the Divorce Divas Club to flip divorce on its head and make it something that you can be proud of. And I'm not saying that the breakdown of a marriage, to be proud of that. What I'm saying is that what you do after that, be proud of that. And the other day I had just small surgery, and I was going into hospital, and at our Divorce Divas lunch, our first one, I was talking to one of the ladies there, and she said, I went to hospital, and the boxes that I had to tick about your marriage status was either singles, married, separated, or divorced. And she sort of said my hand was hovering over divorced, and I didn't want to tick it. And so when I went into hospital this time, I was like, yes, and I ticked that divorce box. And I want people to be proud to tick the box, because it's such a massive experience in our lives. And, I really want women to understand that for them to survive and then thrive and build a new chapter and have this sense of freedom is such a massive, overcoming, and they've stepped over that with courage and resilience, and they've built something new for themselves, and they get to do it again. We only have this very short one conscious life. So a divorce is closing of one chapter, which can be sad and heartbreaking and bring all the emotion, but it gives you an opportunity to have a new, fresh chapter with, a complete freedom in front of you. And I just think that is actually kind of special. So I really want to help women to flip that sort of perception in their own minds, to be really proud to tick that box. So that's one thing. And so then that sort of just has snowballed into this Divorce Divas Club. I started with a lunch, so it's only just recently launched. I started with a lunch in October. And then at the end of this month, on the 30th of November, on my website, I'm launching the Divorce Divas Club Lounge. And in the lounge will be a heap of different resources and content that women can access. So the membership into the lounge is free, and they'll get offers to my events, which is lunches and day retreats coming next year. And they get lots of different articles and some hypnosis meditations and some lessons on resilience and all these different things. And so I'm really, really super excited to launch that at the end of the month.
I'm sure it will be packed with value, because that's what you do, and it's very clear with how you are and how you approach things. It's just anything you can do to help people and support people and make life easier for them, that's always been like part of who you are. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I'm just going to touch on what Myra said. She said she had 37 years. I had 37 years, was not married, but his drinking in the last 7 years broke us up. Oh, sorry to hear that. So things were not the same. He changed, but now she's a new me and she helps herself through. Awesome, Myra. Well done. And, that resilience that women have, we're such nurturers, but the men that come into our lives and the relationships help us to be stronger.
Definitely. I'm actually really proud of my marriages. I really am. And I really have so much utter respect and love for my husbands, because my experience with them made me the woman I am today. And I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, actually happy in myself. And I could never have said that before the last couple of years. So I'm really, really proud, and I really respect and love them.
Great. Well, I'm sure there's a few other people who are listening to tonight that need to hear that. I know on my own personal level, I've had to go through all of that shame and feeling of being a failure, because it's the societal stuff that you put on as well. But I would rather be happy and single than be in a relationship where I feel stuck or suppressed or denied or anything like that. And every interaction, not just in a marriage, but every interaction with friendship and with work colleagues and everything is an opportunity. Even clients, when I've seen clients, it's still an opportunity for me to see the reflection of something that I haven't seen in myself before within someone else, because like you say, we're a reflection of each other.
That's right. It's looking in a mirror.
Yeah, so we can just keep expanding and growing and growing and growing.
Absolutely.
So when's your Divorce Divas Club quarterly events? Is that?
Yes, so the lunches, the lunches are quarterly in different geographical areas, but I only have one booked at the moment, which is at Seaford in South Australia, south of Adelaide, on Sunday, February the 13th. It's a bit of in honour of Valentine's Day, because I know Valentine's Day can be a bit of a tricky time for women who are single or newly divorced, or even women in general. And so I thought it would be good to have it on that Sunday, because the day after is Valentine's Day. So at least there's a bit of a celebration. So that's at 12 p.m. They just run for the afternoon, 12 till 4, and this one is at the Seaford Hotel.
Beautiful, beautiful. And of course, you'll be able to get those links. You'll be able to get the details to all the events, not only from your website, your new website, which is
EleanorCrawford.com.
Thank you very much. But you'll also be able to see all of Elle's events on the Enlightened Tribe Global Wellness Directory, at sushaw.com.au. So there's a whole heap of different events in there, and your profile and your details on there as well, if people want to just pop over there to have a look at what you offer. So yeah, wow, thank you so much for being with us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we could talk till the cows come home.
We could.
So and thank you to everybody for checking in tonight, and for being a part of it. And we'll put a link in the comments after to go to that Ho'oponopono prayer and just sit and listen to it. Yeah, thank you so much, Elle.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, see you soon.
Thank you.
Namaste.